Once upon a time, in the village of Ayensu, nestled between rolling hills and whispering streams, lived a man named Kwesi. He was tall, handsome, and gifted with a silver tongue. Women couldn't resist his charm, and he knew it. Kwesi was married to a kind-hearted woman named Abina, who was the embodiment of purity and devotion. Abina believed she had married the love of her life, oblivious to the shadows that lurked behind Kwesi's dashing smile. Kwesi's charm was both his gift and his curse. He had a reputation for seducing women, married or single, young or old. He saw it as a game, a test of his prowess, never thinking about the hearts he broke or the consequences of his actions. His wife, Abina, was blissfully unaware, for Kwesi played the perfect husband at home. He brought her gifts, spoke sweetly to her, and helped her in the fields, all while hiding his double life. One evening, an old woman named Nana Efua visited the village. She was known to be a wandering herbalist, but whispers in Ayensu claimed she was more a seer with knowledge of the unseen. She walked with a staff adorned with cowrie shells that jingled as she moved. Her eyes, clouded with age, seemed to see right through people. As she passed Kwesi in the marketplace, she paused and tapped her staff on the ground. "You carry the weight of too many souls, Kwesi," she said in a voice that seemed to echo. The villagers around them fell silent, their eyes darting between the old woman and Kwesi. Kwesi chuckled and waved her off. "Old woman, I do not know what you speak of," he said, masking his unease. But Nana Efua leaned closer and whispered, "Be careful, for the souls you tangle with will one day come to collect." Her words clung to Kwesi like a shadow, but he brushed them aside. He had women to chase and no time for the ramblings of an old crone. Kwesi's affairs grew bolder. He seduced Akojua, the baker's daughter, then turned to Esi, the village healer. He pursued Afia, the chief's wife, and even Lodia, a widow who still mourned her husband. Each woman fell under his spell, believing his sweet words and empty promises. But what Kwesi didn't know was that every intimate encounter tied his soul to theirs, forming invisible threads that grew heavier with each conquest. At first, he felt nothing but pride. But as the weeks turned into months, strange things began to happen. He had nightmares of women weeping in the dark, their faces blurred but their voices accusing. His once strong body grew weaker, and his mind became clouded. Worse still, his wife, Abina, began to notice his distance. "Kwesi, are you unwell?" she asked one evening as they sat by the fire. Her voice was filled with concern, but Kwesi snapped at her, blaming his mood on the harvest. He couldn't tell her about the nightmares, the whispers that followed him, or the way his chest felt tight, as though something was squeezing the life out of him. One fateful night, as Kwesi lay in bed beside Abina, he was jolted awake by the sound of wailing. It wasn't Abina, who slept peacefully, but the cries seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once. The room grew cold, and shadows danced on the walls. Suddenly, the figures of women began to emerge, their forms translucent but unmistakable. Akojua, Esi, Afia, Ya, and others he had long forgotten stood before him, their eyes filled with sorrow and anger. "Kwesi," Akojua said, her voice trembling, "you took pieces of us and left us broken." "You lied," Esi added, "and now our pain binds you." The women's voices overlapped, their accusations piercing Kwesi's ears. He tried to speak, to defend himself, but no words came out. The threads that bound their souls to his began to tighten, pulling him from the bed and into the center of the room. Abina woke to find Kwesi thrashing on the floor, his mouth moving soundlessly. She screamed and tried to help him, but it was as if an invisible force held her back. The women's spirits turned to her, their gazes softening. "You are innocent," one of them said. "But your husband is not. The weight of his actions is his alone to bear." As the first rays of dawn broke through the thatched roof, Kwesi let out a final, blood-curdling scream. The spirits vanished, leaving behind only silence. Abina wept as she cradled his lifeless body, unaware of the invisible threads that still clung to him. In the days that followed, Nana Efra returned to the village. She explained to Abina that Kwesi's downfall was the result of his own choices, his disregard for the sacredness of intimacy, and the pain he caused others. The soul is not meant to be fractured, she said. When we tangle ourselves with others carelessly, we carry their pain, their burdens. Kwesi's soul ties consumed him. Abina, though heartbroken, vowed to live with integrity, ensuring that her husband's mistakes would not define her future. The villagers, having witnessed the tragedy, began to treat relationships with greater respect, fearing the invisible threads that could bind them to darkness. And so, the tale of Kwesi the Charmer became a cautionary story in Ayensu, passed down through generations as a reminder that the soul is a sacred thing, not to be treated lightly. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating tales from Esther's Folktale.